Hello, welcome to Nixies Notebooks, and today is Quick Tip Monday. We're going to talk a little bit about sewing on paper, and one of the common problems that people might see when they're using a sewing machine for paper. Yes, you can use a sewing machine for paper. You don't need to get a really expensive one. I have this one, the IT guy. I told him I wanted to get into quilting, so he bought me a nice Janome for quilting, and then I realized that wasn't my passion. But I have found other uses for it. I do use it to sew with paper, and it's great. So some of the things I do notice, like I'll even see it in videos and stuff sometimes, is where the sewing machine will, there's a hole, stitch, 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 there's a hole, or it'll be like hole, and then stitch, 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 hole. So you'll see a hole like where the needle went in, but there's just no stitch there, so it looks kind of awkward. There's a couple reasons why there's many reasons why it does that, but some of the main reasons are things like the sewing needle, and I'm going to move it in closer so you can take a look. The needle might be dull. That is a possibility, so I'm bringing it in a little bit closer so you can see. Hopefully you can see. Just bring this back here. Sorry, my lamp is getting in the way. Let's move that up a little bit. So right here, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a screw right here. You unscrew it, you pull it out, the needle, you pull the needle out, and then you put a new needle back in. I like organ grinders. Those seem to be really good. That's the ones I've been using. They seem to be pretty sharp and stay pretty sharp. Usually the sewing needles have like a rounded back and a flat front. I believe the rounded back goes towards the back, and it only goes in one way. So it's really easy to do. You may need a little bit of muscle to undo that screw. That's fine. But yeah, that would be my first place I would check, is that needle. If you're still having problems after that, it could be your tension. Another tension issue, and you'll notice this right away, is the straight line with little, and it could be on either side of the paper. If it's a straight line and it's on either side of the paper like that, you probably have a tension issue. Tension wheel, tension wheel is found right here. Usually you want to keep it within the squares. Usually it's in the middle. If you're sewing something really specialty, you probably want to look online and see what they want you to sew it with, or what type of tension you should be using. Another thing, once your tension is kind of broken, it's probably really good to take it into a repair shop. Usually if you call your local quilting shop, they can tell you someplace that does repairs. Make sure you go into someone who knows what they're doing with sewing machines, especially if you have an expensive one, because you don't want to take it to the wrong person and then have to fix an even bigger problem later on down the road. So again, call quilting shops. They're going to tell you who the best person to go through. Sometimes quilting shops even have a service for it, so just keep that in mind. Now, the reason why I was going to do this video is because I was undoing my thread because I had to do a bobbin. So the other thing that can really mess up tension, and I just want to kind of point this out just so you guys know, because I was never aware of it. So when I was done with thread, what I used to do is I used to yank up. Just yank it up, and then I do the bobbin, and then I'd put it all through. Do not do that. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut from here, like that. And you're going to pull from down underneath. So you're going to pull from down here. And you're just going to pull it out. It's a little more complicated than that, but you get the idea. You never want to pull up like this. That can ruin your tension. And I think that's about it. You do want to take your sewing machines in, I believe they say every 2 years, so that way it can be maintained. Don't forget, this is a moving parts. There's moving machinery in here, all in here, and if you're sewing paper, it's dusty, and you could be getting a lot of dust on the inner working. So if you are starting to have some problems, or the stitches don't look right, and these, replacing the needle doesn't work, rethreading, just trying to rethread it, messing a little bit with the tension, don't mess too much with that. If none of that seems to really work, maybe it's just time that your sewing machine needed a tune-up. They do need tune-ups from time to time, and it doesn't hurt to bring it in and have it looked at. Again, if you contact your local quilting shop, they should be able to get you in touch with someone who is knowledgeable with sewing machines. You may have to travel a little bit. I had to travel a little bit, but they worked on it, and I don't have any problems with my tension, because that is what was happening to me, was this, and I was like, okay, this isn't looking good. It looks really weird. So I brought it, and then that's what they told me was wrong with it. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye. Like and subscribe, and if you have any other tips or anything, put them in the comments below. Thank you. Bye.